What are the best and worst things about living in the city of Toronto? Before I jump into this video, I'd love to know what you think of Toronto. Whether you live here or not, let me know in the comments section below. My name is Macallum and I'm a real estate agent in the city of Toronto, and I run a real estate team which services the entire GTA. And if you'd like to schedule a call with me directly, you can go to the first link in the description of this video and book a meeting directly into my calendar at a time that works best for you. And if you learn anything from this video or want to see more real estate content, give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. My goal is to hit 500 subscribers by the end of 2023, and who knows, there may even be a giveaway if we hit that number. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why, as a real estate agent in Toronto, am I telling you the worst things about the city? Because my business relies on people wanting to purchase and sell homes in the area. The more people who do, the better my business is. So why tell you the worst things? Well, because I like to provide my clients with the pros, the cons, and all potential outcomes of everything related to their real estate transaction. So why not tell you? Plus, I think it's better to be open about all the negatives and not only talk about the positives. Let's start things off with the best things about Toronto and why people love to live here. Coming in at number one is diversity and culture. One of the best things about living in Toronto is the diversity. Toronto is home to people from all over the world, which means you can experience a wide range of cultures, food, languages, and more. From Little Italy to Chinatown, there is always something new to discover. When we talk about diversity and culture, we often focus on the things all residents can experience because of it. But what's really important is that newcomers to Canada have an easier time finding familiar communities when they first move here. Second on our list of great things about Toronto are jobs and opportunities. As the largest city in Canada, Toronto is a hub for business and commerce, which means there are many opportunities in a variety of industries. To me, this is one of the biggest reasons people choose to move to Toronto, because this is where a lot of the opportunities and jobs are for most sectors. Other cities don't offer jobs at the same scale as Toronto. And this is why people stay in Toronto. And yes, remote work has changed this quite a bit in recent years. However, we're starting to see major industries and companies require employees come back to the office. And I'm going to throw in a little plot twist here and say that jobs and opportunities are what force people to stay in Toronto, even if they don't want to live here. I was talking to a friend a few weeks ago about this very topic of why people live in Toronto and why not move elsewhere in Canada, the US, or anywhere else in the world for that matter. And it really boiled down to career opportunities. This next topic is actually going to be fairly controversial because some people think it's fantastic and others despise it. And that's the TTC, which, if you're not familiar, is our public transit system. Now, I have this in the pros column for the city of Toronto simply because it exists and serves some of the population easily. Because of the TTC, you can get anywhere in Toronto without a car, which is fantastic, but it does require taking buses, streetcars, and subways, unlike other major cities in the world. And it generally takes a long time to get from point A to B if you have to take a bus on the route. Is the system reliable? Nah, it really depends on who you ask. Is the system safe? That's a question for another day and far too political for this conversation. Again, we have a transit system, so it's in the pros column. However, the lack of good quality transit in the city brings me to the first on my list of the worst things about living in Toronto. And that is the high cost of living. Now, as a real estate agent, I could spend hours talking about this one point, but I won't. And you can check out my other market update videos for that type of content. Because the TTC is primarily two lines, Bloor running east-west and Yonge University running north-south, housing prices are higher closer to those lines because people want to use the subway to commute to work. If you picked up a house from, let's say, West Hill Scarborough and dropped that same house and same lot just off the Danforth, it would sell for a lot more because of the proximity to the Bloor line. And just to be 100% clear, proximity to transit is not the only reason for housing prices being higher closer to Bloor and the Yonge University line. There are many other factors which are deep-rooted in those communities that contribute to higher prices, but the TTC is a major one. Another negative of living in Toronto is the exact opposite of public transit, and that is traffic and congestion. As a real estate agent who drives around the city constantly, just recording this part of the video is making my blood boil. Toronto is a big and busy city. There's no getting around that fact. And because of this, the traffic here is nightmare fuel. During rush hour, it can take 30 minutes to drive 3 kilometers. You just put on your most calming music, resist the urge to leave your car in the middle of the street, and walk the rest of the way. Another drawback to living in Toronto, or even most of Canada for that matter, is our harsh winters. The winters here are really cold, and they're not overly enjoyable, if I'm being totally honest. We get some snow, a lot of slush, freezing temperatures, and wind. If you like freezing wind whipping through tall buildings, creating a wind tunnel of snow burning your skin, sorry, I mean exfoliating your face, then this is the place for you. Overall, Toronto is a great city to live in with a lot to offer. From its diverse culture to its job opportunities and public transit, there are plenty of reasons to love living here. However, the high cost of living, traffic and congestion, and harsh winters can be challenging for some. It's essential to weigh the pros and cons carefully before deciding if Toronto is the right place for you.